Hi everybody, thank you for watching. So today's video is going to be all about makeup I talked myself out of buying. This video has been on my list to do for months and months and months, and I finally have some products here that I had planned on purchasing and that I talked myself out of. So I'm so excited to share this video because I know it has been super requested. Before we get started, I want to say thank you so much for clicking on this video, and I am posting right now every single day. So if you enjoy getting daily content, I hope that you will consider hitting the subscribe button. I have 20K giveaways that are closing very soon on both YouTube and Instagram. Those are linked down below. And then I have a huge NYX lipstick giveaway going on across 4 of my social media channels, and all of that will be linked down below, so you'll want to make sure that you get entered. But why don't we go ahead and get started and talk about some makeup that I talked myself out of buying. So to jump into it, I have a foundation from the Balm Cosmetics. It was their Even Steven foundation. I feel like this video took me so long to film because I was going off of my Will I Buy It videos. I post my Will I Buy It videos every single Wednesday. I'll have my playlist linked down below, and I'm talking about makeup and if I'm going to buy it, if I'm not going to buy it. So when I was trying to film this video, I was going through my Will I Buy It's, but it was like everything that I said I was going to buy, I was buying. So apparently I do a terrible job of talking myself out of buying makeup, but I finally have some products here. And the first one was the Even Steven foundation from the Balm. I mentioned in my Will I Buy It video that I thought I would try it out. I don't have a lot from the Balm. I wanted to buy more from the Balm. I'm kind of on a foundation kick at this time, so I thought, why not be able to try out a new foundation? I kind of liked the way that it sounded, kind of like this whipped, lightweight, kind of like creamy formula, but still with a decent coverage. And I thought, sure, why not? I'm gonna go ahead and give it a go. And you all talked me out of it. There are so many comments in that video of do not buy that foundation. The reviews weren't great. You weren't getting a lot of product. And when I did see like the actual photos like on Instagram of people that had bought the foundation, I mean, it really did look like the smallest little bottle ever. It was quite tiny, and I heard people saying that, you know, it wasn't a lot of product that you were getting, so even though $22 seemed like a good price, comparing to other foundations, it wasn't so good. So I do read all of my comments. I'll respond to, you know, the majority of the comments, unless you're saying something really rude to me, but I do read and respond to all those comments, and when I was reading them, I was like, oh my gosh, people really do not think I should get this foundation. And so I have you guys to thank, because you sure talked me out of getting that foundation. So I did not purchase the Even Steven foundation from the Balm Cosmetics, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that decision. So next up, I actually have a brand to talk about. So I mentioned in one of my Will I Buy It's the brand Pretty Vulgar. They were a new brand to Sephora. A lot of people got really hyped over them. A lot of people bought like a ton from their collection because they released a huge collection. I want to say it was maybe somewhere around like 80 pieces, from eyeshadow palettes and eyeliners and brow pencils and mascaras, and I mean, they just had so much stuff that they were coming out with, and a ton of people were buying a lot from the collection and reviewing it on their YouTube channels, and I was pretty excited about it. I really liked the packaging. It was kind of like the vintage feel. I thought it was really fun. I was really interested in like the idea behind the name Pretty Vulgar. I thought that was super interesting. I was pretty excited for the brand. I was planning on buying something, and I watched more and more review videos, and of course I don't ever just watch one review video and make a decision, and nobody really should. You know, you should watch all of the people that you love and trust and kind of see what everybody is saying and then form your own opinion. And that's really what I did on Pretty Vulgar, because I've seen a lot of different reviews come in from them. Some people absolutely love the brand. Some people disliked almost everything that they picked up from the brand. But one of the consensus that I feel like I took away from Pretty Vulgar watching review videos is that people have said it's really, really pricey makeup for like decent quality. I didn't see a lot of people being like, oh my gosh, I'm so blown away by this brand. I'm so blown away by this eyeshadow palette. I'm so blown away by this. Like, I didn't feel like I was really getting that vibe from people, or, you know, that's what people were just straight up saying. And I thought, you know what? I like the idea of trying different brands, and I'm trying to branch out because I definitely know that I'm in like my Sephora Ulta box. I know that, and it's something that I'm trying to improve on and, you know, step outside of my comfort zone and try out different brands. But at the same time, I am very conscious of my wallet. I'm also very conscious of what I'm putting into my makeup collection because it is bigger, and I don't want to fill it with subpar items or items that I don't feel particularly drawn to buy. And honestly, watching a lot of those review videos, they kind of talked me out of it because I thought it just seems pretty decent. and I don't want to spend the type of money on the Pretty Vulgar products and just get something that's decent. I would rather put my money towards, you know, just a different brand in general, whether it be an indie brand or a brand that is at, you know, a Sephora or Ulta, but a brand that I feel like would be better quality and better suited towards me. So again, it was watching a lot of those review videos that just kind of talked me out of it, and honestly, I'm okay with it. I saw a lot of hype about Pretty Vulgar when it did first hit Sephora. I saw a lot of review videos and I was seeing a lot of chatter about it, and now I really am not seeing a lot, and that says a lot to me as well. A lot of times when you don't see a product a lot on YouTube, it typically means a lot of people don't like it. So you know what, I'm okay with it. I would love to know though if you guys did buy anything from Pretty Vulgar and what some of your favorites or your flops were as well. I would like to know, but I passed over Pretty Vulgar. Not saying that I'm never going to not purchase from them, because I definitely could in the future, but after filming that Will I Buy It video, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna purchase, you know, right when they come into Sephora, and I just didn't do it, and as of right now I don't have any plans on buying anything from them. But if you guys have any feedback on Pretty Vulgar, I would love to know. An eyeshadow palette that I talked myself out of was from Tarte Cosmetics. It was their Tarte Pro Palette. This was I believe it's $54 for 20 different eyeshadows. It's a big old palette, has a big old mirror in it, 20 different shades, mattes and shimmers, and I know there's like some duochromes in there as well. And this is a palette that even still, I feel like I see a lot about. I see a lot of people using it, a lot of people reaching for it, a lot of people recommending it. And when it first launched and it first came out, I was excited about it. I really like Tarte. They're one of my favorite brands. I buy from them quite a bit, and I use a lot of Tarte. I have Tarte on my face right now. My blush and highlight is Tarte. So I thought, you know, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and get this palette. I actually did purchase it, but I put it in a giveaway. I can't remember now which giveaway it was, but I remember buying it, and then I put it into the giveaway, and I thought, buy yourself a palette, you know, you're gonna put it in the giveaway, people are so hyped about it, buy it for yourself. And I just thought, no, I don't feel a pull when it actually came down to purchase the palette. Like when I was thinking about it and talking about it, I was like, yes, yes, totally, I'm gonna buy it. The shades look so pretty. It looks like a versatile palette, yet an everyday palette. It has a big mirror. It's Tarte. I like Tarte. Buy it. But then when it actually came down to buying the palette, I just could not do it. And even still, this is not a limited, I don't think it's a limited edition palette. Let me say that. I don't think it's a limited edition palette. It's still available right now on the Tarte website. I can still buy it. I think you can get it at Sephora for sure, possibly even Ulta. I'll have any links down below for anything that I'm talking about. So it's still there. It's still around. I can still buy it if I want to. Tarte just had a 25% off sale. I think the palette was included in that, but for some reason, it's just not calling to me anymore. I wish I could like explain better of like what it is that's holding me back, but it just doesn't draw me in. It just didn't excite me like other eyeshadow palettes excite me. And even though the Tarte Pro palette is still around and I still hear really good things about it, like I really haven't heard a lot of negative reviews on the Tarte Pro palette. I see a lot of people using it. It just does not call out to me, so I would rather not spend over $50 on an eyeshadow palette that doesn't scream my name. Spend that money on an eyeshadow palette or a lipstick or just something else for my makeup collection. I would rather spend my money on something that does really excite me and something that like I feel like can't live without. And the Tarte Pro palette just doesn't do it for me. So I talked myself out of buying that one, and I'm still okay with it. Next up for makeup that I talked myself out of were the Stila Magnificent Metals glitter eyeshadows. You guys know what I'm talking about because I definitely hear a lot about them even still, and I either hear really good things or really bad things. Like there's not a lot of like in between for the Stila glitters, but I decided not to get them, and it was quite a process to get here. I remember talking about these in a Will I Buy It video, and I was like, yeah, you know, I should probably get those. Those don't seem bad. And then I think the Sephora VIP sale came around, and I was like, you should get them at a discount, and I didn't because they're $24 for one tube. So basically $24 for one glitter. That's a lot of money, you know, for one eyeshadow, one glitter. That's kind of pricey to me. So I was like, you should get them in the VIP sale, and I didn't do it. And then I talked about them again. I was like, I think I'm going to get them, you guys. Like, I think it's gonna happen. And I still didn't do it. I've just completely talked myself out of them, and by now, at this point, I'm like, girlfriend, you're not getting them. Just don't do it. There were several different reasons why I was holding myself back from buying them. Of course, $24 for a glitter. That's pricey. Then I don't wear glitter very often. I wear a lot of matte eyeshadow. Sometimes I don't even wear shimmer shadows on my eyes. I am today, but some days you just see me in straight up matte shadows. I'm not a glittery type of person. I don't reach for a glitter on a daily basis. I don't reach for a glitter on a weekly basis. I mean, I would be hard pressed to say if I reach for a glitter on a monthly basis. I just don't do it. I also have a lot of trouble finding a glitter that works okay with my eyes. I have like eye irritations to glitters. A lot of glitters don't work for me. So that kind of worried me right off the bat. Like, I don't know if I would actually get along with this product, but you know, just with all of those different factors, but especially being, I just don't think I'm going to get a lot of use out of these. That's the biggest thing to me, even more than the price. But of course the price factors into that, because if you're not going to use something that's more expensive on a decent basis, like, why spend your money on it? I would rather spend it on an eyeshadow palette that I'm going to keep reaching for. So I talked myself out of the Stila glitters, and even though I almost talked myself into them like 3 different times, I'm saying no. I'm saying no to the Stila glitters. So another brand that I eventually talked myself out of buying is Beauty Bakerie. I did mention Beauty Bakerie in a video. I think maybe it was a Will I Buy It? And I mentioned that I wanted to pick up a couple items from them. They had some setting powders coming out around that time that I was super interested in. And then I had heard some things about their lipsticks. So I just wanted to try a few different items and, you know, purchase from them and see what I thought of them. They are an indie brand. And I talked myself out of it because I started to see a lot of reviews that people just weren't like super impressed. In particular, I follow Stephanie from Babs Beauty, and I know that she picked up the setting powders and she just really didn't have a lot of good things to say about them. I saw another Snapchat haul. I don't think it was with Stephanie, but I can't remember who it was off the top of my head. But they got a bunch of the lipsticks and they really didn't have anything good to say about them. So again, it was very similar to Pretty Vulgar, that I was like, you know, there's a lot of other brands that I want to be trying out, and I want to feel a little bit more confident about trying out the brands than I was feeling about Beauty Bakerie. So that's why I decided not to purchase from them around the time that I was speaking about them in the Will I Buy It video. Again, same as with Pretty Vulgar. I'm not saying that I'm never going to buy anything from Beauty Bakerie, because definitely they could come out with something that really catches my attention and that I really have to have. But so far, I just haven't heard enough positive feedback and positive reviews that I want to spend my money and try it out myself. As always, I'd like to know what you guys think about Beauty Bakerie, if you guys have bought anything from them, or if you've seen really positive reviews about, you know, any of the certain products in there and you still think that I should do it. I would love to know. I do understand that I have a YouTube channel, and, you know, part of like my job, or whatever you want to call it, is to try out different makeup and to review it and to give my feedback on it. But at the same time, I'm just a regular girl who spends a lot of money on makeup anyways. I have to spend a lot of money on camera and equipment and editing software, and everybody wants me to paint my freaking room. So I'm trying to save up money so I can take a week off to move everything out of my room and prime it and paint it and wait to move everything back in, which is going to be a huge job. So I can't just be buying everything at this point. And when I'm going to be spending my money on makeup, I want to be at least somewhat confident in my purchases. So hopefully down the road I can, you know, be a little bit more adventurous, and I can be like those people who can buy 10 items blindly from Pretty Vulgar or Beauty Bakerie just to be able to review it on their channel. But to be honest, it's just not where I am at right now. But you know, it's a goal of mine. But for that reason, you know, I'm going to pass over Beauty Bakerie right now, but leave me any of your thoughts on the brand down below. I just mentioned this one in my most recent Will I Buy It video, yesterday's video, I think is what it was, but it was the Anastasia Beverly Hills Blush Trios. So Anastasia came out with some blush trios, and I was really excited about them. I put them in a Will I Buy It video. I said I was super stoked about them. I'm getting more into palettes. I liked that we were going to get 3 different blushes. I believe it was $30 for the blush palette. I was into it. I said I was going to buy it, and then I kept not doing it. I just kept not, like, they were in my cart at Ulta. I had 5 times the points on Anastasia, and I still didn't buy it. And I'm like, okay, girlfriend, like, get it together. Why are you not buying this? You know you want it. I'm seeing great reviews on it. What are you doing? What are you waiting for? I just kept not doing it, and then, like how I mentioned in my Will I Buy It video, Makeup Forever is coming out with these new palettes, and you can basically personalize your own palette. So if you want to buy a 3-pan palette, you can pick 3 different shades, from blush to contour shades to highlight shades, and you can put your own like personalized shades into these palettes. And I thought that was a great idea. It's $45 for that palette, so I thought, well, why would I not go with the $30 Anastasia? But when I was looking at the Anastasia palettes, I was like, I like this shade, but not that shade. I like these 2 shades, but not that one shade. I wish one shade from each of these palettes was in this little palette. And basically you can do that with Makeup Forever. So not only was I already like late to the game hitting the checkout button on the Anastasia blushes, then this Makeup Forever came out and I thought, you know what, I just think it's going to be a better idea if I buy the Makeup Forever, because that way I know that I'm getting 3 shades that like I feel like I would really use on a daily basis. Pretty sure I'm gonna go ahead and make the Makeup Forever purchase once they become available in Sephora, and I'm gonna skip over the Anastasia blush trios. Not saying that I'm never going to buy the Anastasia blush trio because I might have a moment of weakness again, but if I haven't bought them and they've been on my mind and like in my Ulta cart for so long and I just haven't been able to do it, it makes me think that I'm not gonna do it. So I talked myself out of the Anastasia blush trios. And then the final item that I talked myself out of was the Sephora Pro Palettes. These are new palettes to Sephora, recently mentioned in a Will I Buy It video. They came out with 3 different palettes. I think it was the Warm, the Cool, and the Editorial palette, I wanna say. I was thinking about getting the Warm palette. I put it in a Will I Buy It video. I struggled really hard, but I still said I think that I'm going to get this palette. It has the warm tones that I really love in there. A lot of people were saying it could be a comparison to the Natasha Denona Sunset palette, which I really do wanna get. It's sold out right now. So I thought, you know, maybe I should just do it. It was $68, which was definitely expensive to me, and I was a little bit nervous to spend $68 because I'm not familiar with Sephora eyeshadows. I don't have a ton from the Sephora brand in general, so I was nervous to spend $68 on an eyeshadow palette. A lot of the comments in that video, and a lot of the comments were saying that I shouldn't buy it. There was a lot of, you know, Sephora palettes can be very hit or miss. Sephora palettes can be not great quality. $68 is too much for a Sephora palette. You should just save your money and wait for the Natasha Denona to come back in stock. And I really read a lot of those comments and I thought, okay, like I feel like you guys did a good job of talking me out of that. Then the reviews started coming in, and the reviews do sound good. I'm seeing a lot of good reviews for these palettes. I'm seeing fantastic makeup tutorials. I'm hearing a lot of good feedback. And I honestly thought when I saw those reviews come in that my opinion would definitely sway and I would change and I would want to go ahead and purchase them again. But I didn't do it and I don't feel the pull right now. It was kind of one of those things where it almost would have been like a impulse buy. You know, if I thought maybe these things were going to sell out right away, it was going to be an impulse buy, but after I waited and gave it some time, I decided, you know, I just don't need it. I don't think I need it. I don't think it's worth the $68. I think I was just going to be buying into the hype, which I do. I buy into the hype all the time. That's not a bad thing. We all do it. But I think I was definitely going to buy into the hype, and after I let the hype die down, I was like, you know what? I really don't need it. I don't feel bad about not having it. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. And then even with the great reviews, I'm still kind of like, you know what? I just don't think that I need it, and I'm okay passing over it. Again, I'm not saying that I'm never going to purchase a Sephora Collection eyeshadow palette. I'm not even saying that I'm not going to purchase the Warm palette sometime down the road, or any of these other pro palettes. Like maybe they will have an amazing deal on them and I won't be able to pass it up. So right now I have no intention of buying the Sephora Pro palettes, and I think I'm gonna be okay. Alright guys, so that is everything for this video of makeup that I talked myself out of buying. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video because I know this has been requested for months and months and months, so I'm so excited that I'm finally able to put this video out there. If you guys do have any other video requests that you would like me to do, please leave them in the comments down below, because like I said, I am posting a video every single day, so working off your feedback and your video suggestions is so extremely helpful right now. But if you guys did enjoy this video, I hope that you will give it a thumbs up. I hope that you will also consider subscribing before you go, and I'll catch you guys real soon in my next one. Bye!